Hey guys, welcome back. This is a part 2. In this video I'm gonna be reinstalling the cams. What I'm changing in this video are the springs, the retainers, and the valve stems. So let's get into it. So as you can see, these are the OEM valve stems. I'm gonna be replacing these as well. I replaced them because I don't wanna put in new springs, new retainers, and then use the same OEM valve stems and it's either leaking or the head is failing, or I'd rather not deal with that. So I'm gonna just give the whole head a refresh. So yeah, pretty much that's what I'm gonna be doing as well. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna take out the valve stem. I'm gonna use a needle nose pliers to take them out one by one. It can be difficult to come out, but if you just take your time and just wiggle them out like this one, it'll just come out. So that's pretty much, you just gotta take your time, wiggle them out. Some of them could be a pain in the butt to take out, but once you give it a light wiggle like this, they'll all come out. So yeah, pretty much. Like, I think this one's gonna give me a hard time. Yeah, see, this one's giving me a hard time. You just give it a couple of wiggles, twisting and turning, it'll come out. See, there you go. So some of them are like really hard to come out. Same thing for the intake side. You're just gonna wiggle and just pull it off. Okay, so the intake side, it's a little tricky. Why? So if you notice, I take my pliers and I try to wiggle it off. It's not even wiggling off. I'll show you guys up close what I'm talking about. So if I take my pliers, try to get a good angle with this camera. If I try to take it off, it's not coming off. So I have to fight to take it off. So yeah, the intake side is not as easy as you think. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to get this off. Finally got it off. So yeah, as you can see, the intake side is not as easy. So just take your time, do it, and when you get it off, then you just move on to the next step like what I'm gonna do. Alright, so now all my valve stems are out. So, all of them are out. This one right here, this one, it's giving me a hard time, but I got it out. So, yes sir. Alright, so I got my head cylinder in my sink. We're gonna clean it out, make it nice and clean. So what I'm gonna use is mean green multi-purpose. You can get that at Harbor Freight. I'm gonna put that in the description below, and also you can get a spray bottle as well from Harbor Freight. I'll put that in the description below as well. And I bought a steamer off of Amazon, so I'll also put the steamer in the description below. So I'm gonna use my steamer. I'm gonna spray my mean green multi-purpose on the heads. The point of the steamer is to break down the oils, so you can also get that from Amazon. So I will also put that in the description below. You're gonna need a toothbrush to get all the nicks and crannies out of it, all the dirt, everything. So you're gonna need a toothbrush. So let's get started. gonna let this sit for a good 10 minutes. We're gonna come right back to it. 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna start spraying and brushing just to get the little corners. So just gonna start that right now. Yeah. I'll make sure everything is good, you know? Alright. Get our brush. This thing looks so clean already. It's not even done and it's so clean. Wow, this thing came out clean. I'm not even done. This thing came out clean. Alright. So it came out clean. Not finished yet, but this is stage 1. So stage 2, now I'm going to do the same thing over and give it a really, really good deep clean. So that's what I'm going to do. have it. Nice and clean on the exhaust side, also on the intake side. I'm just gonna turn this over, let it drain out, and then resume on the next day. Alright, so I just have my stuff to soak in. I'll leave this for overnight. Let this soak. Looks good now, but I'll leave it for overnight. Have my caps soaking. Get off all that grease. Alright, so these are my intake valves lined up, as well as my exhaust valves lined up. My cam chain tensioner chain. And these are the caps that go for the cams for the intake and exhaust. So they surprisingly came out very clean. So I'm happy that it came out very clean. So yeah, and then what we're going to be doing is putting in our Supertech valves for exhaust and intake. Also, we have our valve stems right here. So we're gonna install our valve stems first. We're gonna start with the intake side. I bought this tool off of Amazon. I'm gonna put this in the link below as well. Usually what people use this for is to like install valve stems. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to install the valve stems with this tool right here. Okay, so as you can see, all the valve stems are in on the intake side. We're going to do the exhaust side next. So what we're going to do, we're going to put in our valve stems on our exhaust side. But before we do that, we're gonna put in our Supertech spring seat. And then we're gonna put it in like this direction, where the spring sits around this area right here. Not like this, but like this. You want the spring to sit around this area right here, around this ring. So what I'm gonna try to do is take my tweezer like this, put it down, and just let it drop down like that. I'll do that for the other 5. Okay, as you can see, they are in there. So now what we're gonna do is put in our valve stems. Alright, so our valve stem is in there with our Supertech spring seat. As you can see, a little black ring right around, sitting in each exhaust valve. So now we're gonna go back on the intake side. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put in our intake springs, retainer, and the valve. So here's our intake. I'm gonna put some Ultra Slick engine assembly lube on it, just to keep it lubed. Should be enough. You just rub. And then I just insert the valve. And the valve is inside. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna drop in our springs. They look good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, springs are dropped in. Now it's time to put the retainers on. So what you want to do is you get your retainer and you place it here. Then you get your valve spring tool. Make sure, yes, you get your valve spring tool. And then you place it at the bottom. And just twist. Okay. Okay, now this is where you're going to need a flashlight. So this right here is the tricky part. So you see that little groove right there? A little groove on the inside. I'm not sure if you can see it. A little groove in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but there's grooves in there that hold the valves, which are called keepers. And the keepers are very difficult to put on, so I'm going to try to show you if I can put it on myself on camera. So I got the keeper on right there. Now I have to turn it around in order for me to get the other keeper on. Alright, so I rotated my other keeper to the back, so now I'm going to put on this keeper on the front side. Like that, and the keeper is on. And then now what you do, take your tool and you unscrew. And then there goes your valve. Okay, now my intake side is done. So now we're going to move to the exhaust side. Before we move to the exhaust side, we are going to put these back in the order it came out of. So I'm going to start from here and go to here. We're also going to use our engine assembly lube. So just for a little bit, it's good enough. Around. And now we're going to move to our exhaust side. Okay, all our exhaust valves are in. So now we're gonna drop our spring inside. Has a little spring, then a big spring inside. So it'll drop straight in like that. So now, as you can see, all our springs are in. And now we have to put the retainer in. Okay, so now we have our exhaust retainers, as you can see, and we're gonna install them one by one. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so now everything's back on. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is installing our intake and exhaust 2.8 cams. Okay, so now everything's back on. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is installing our intake and exhaust 2.8 cams. So the first thing we're going to do is put on our half moon seal. Make sure it's seated good. Then we're going to put on our gasket. And then we're going to seat our intake and exhaust cams inside. Just like that. So just double checking our cams for the intake and exhaust. On the passenger side, it's 16 chain links. If you guys have like a whiteout or a paint, what I suggest you guys to do is paint the link from number 1 to number 16. So yeah, I'll show you guys. So here it is. So our number 1 is right here, and the number 16 is right here. So what I did was I counted 16 links. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Another way, if you're not sure if it's correct as well, if you look where the whiteout mark is, right here, and you see this part right here, this part right here, I wish you can see it, this part right here, as long as this part right here is lined up with that whiteout mark, this is how you know it's correct. As long as this part right here is lined up with that whiteout mark, that's correct. Okay, so I went ahead and put on our cam caps. Also, I used the Ultra Slick to lube the cams, as you can see. I lube the cams. Each cam has gotten lubed. So you get the point. Our last cap is gonna go over here, and we're gonna put that on right now. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put gasket maker on this part right here, this whole part right here, and this part right here. In case I got a knife, so we're gonna start right here. It's kind of too much, and then we're gonna work our way down. This rubber is very smooth. Right here as well. Right here as well. Also, you're gonna wanna put some gasket maker all around here and all around here. Oil flows through these two grooves right here. Oil flows through these, so I just want to put gasket maker around here and around here. Now we're just going to put our screws in and then torque them down after. Okay, so now I'm going to put it down, and after we're going to put it down, so use 7.4 pounds, 70 meters. So in this case, I have crafting perfection in 4 pounds, and I'm meters, and 3 55 meters in average. But it's 7.4 pounds, as you see, that's 70 meters. So I'm going to go sequence. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to release the tension. So we're just going to spin our exhaust and intake cams. I'm going to make sure this matches up with our notch right here, and also this notch matches up with this right here. It is going to be a little difficult for me because I'm on a glass table and I'm using a TDC bar to spin it, so it'll be a little difficult, but I'll try my best. That's one. I'm going to do one more time. And that's that. They both match up again. 1 and 2. So we're just gonna spin our exhaust and intake cams. I'm gonna make sure this matches up with our notch right here, and also this notch matches up with this right here. It is gonna be a little difficult for me because I'm on a glass table and I'm using a TDC bar to spin it, so it'll be a little difficult, but I'll try my best. That's one. I'm gonna do one more time. Now that our cams are done, what we're gonna move on to now is to put on the camshaft seal that goes around here. So just gonna push it on, wiggle it on. Gonna get a socket and knock it in. Okay, so I went ahead and used a socket, like a 32mm, went around the exhaust cam and use a mallet and just hit it in slowly in order to sit flush. Once it sit flush, your install is complete. And then our last thing what we're gonna do is install our camshaft plug. So I went ahead and installed my camshaft bore plug, just right here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put on our cam caps right now. So start off with this here, this. As a matter of fact, let me put some lubrication on this. Put some lubrication on this. Put some lubrication on this as well. Okay. Number 2. Two. Number 3. Number 4. Number 3. Alright. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put more gasket maker on our cap. I'm gonna put some here. Put just a little bit more, just in case. I'm gonna put some over here. Some over here as well. And then we're gonna put right there. I'm also gonna put some on this as well. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna tighten our bolts. We're not gonna torque them yet, we're just gonna tighten them. Now we're gonna torque them to 7.4 foot-pounds or 10 newton meters. 7.4 foot-pounds or 10 newton meters. Now that our cams are torqued, we're gonna loosen our cam chain tensioner. So we're just gonna spin our exhaust and intake cams. We're gonna make sure this matches up with our notch right here, and also this notch matches up with this right here. It is going to be a little difficult for me because I'm on a glass table and I'm using a TDC bar to spin it, so it'll be a little difficult, but I'll try my best. That's one. I'm going to do one more time. And that's that. They both match up again. 1 and 2. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna install our cam seal. And we're gonna hammer that in with the socket. Okay, so we used a mallet hammer and a socket over it, and it went in very smoothly. So now the next thing we're gonna do is install our cam war plug. So we went ahead and put in our cam bore plug. Now if you're changing your cam seals, most people don't know this torque spec. So this torque spec would be 25 Newton meters or 18 foot-pounds. If you're changing your seals and you don't know the torque spec for this would be 25 Newton meters or 18 foot-pounds. Now we're gonna go ahead and put on our cam position sensor. Then tighten to 7.4 foot-pounds or 10 Newton meters. So there it is, guys. My cover is on, my pulley's on, my cams are top to the center, and yeah, cams are done. It's completed. So thank you guys for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.